Budget is shaping up to be the next political fight between President Barack Obama and the GOP. The White House sends its 2012 budget to Capitol Hill today.
The plan will cut the deficit by more than $1 trillion over the next 10 years, while the White House calls some of the cuts painful. As Nicole Collins reports, some Republicans are already saying the cuts aren't deep enough.
Fresh from the printing press, President Obama's proposed 2012 budget rolled out on Capitol Hill.
As a start, I've called for a freeze on annual domestic spending over the next 5 years. This freeze would cut the deficit by more than $400 billion over the next decade.
The White House estimates the plan will cut the historic deficit by more than $1 trillion over the next decade by using a combination of tax increases and spending cuts.
It's no longer just cutting things that we would call waste or fraud or abuse.
Even with the proposed cuts that some call painful, the $3.7 trillion budget is a Valentine's Day delivery Republicans aren't willing to accept.
It's a card that says you owe more to the federal government.
Republicans say the proposed budget spends, taxes, and borrows too much. They also complain it doesn't address the largest drivers of the country's long-term debt, Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. The top Republican on the Senate Budget Committee says the president's 10-year budget just doesn't go far enough to reduce the federal deficit that the Congressional Budget Office predicts will hit nearly $1.7 trillion this year.
I expect, according to projections, $12 to $14 trillion in new debt added during that time. So $1 trillion reduction is insignificant and does not get us off the right course.
The president's budget is also expected to catch heat from liberal Democrats who don't agree with some of the proposed cuts, like slashing funding for the low-income heating assistance program. In Washington, Nicole Collins, WPTV News Channel 5.